Hi, I'm Rebecca Carner, Biofield tuner. This video is about allowing. I think I'm going to entitle it Holiday Allowances. And a lot of the noticings and awarenesses and conversations that I've been in lately have been around the concept of impermanence, how things always change, broad concepts around grief, ambiguous loss, losing the idea of something concrete and real loss, losing people that you know in war or to illness, losing jobs, losing houses, losing relationships. And all of our experience of the changing tides and the changing circumstances in life have a common element in our being able to notice and be in and allow what is right now, because it will change. It's not the same as it was yesterday, and tomorrow will not be the same, but allowing what is right now, even the things that we don't like. And in allowing everything, you can choose and you can place your focus on joy and gratitude and things that are going well. There are some cases where it may seem like nothing's going well, but even in that, if you choose to focus on, I had a lovely breakfast, or the sun was shining, or I saw a dragonfly fly in front of my windshield at a stoplight. Like, you can choose to notice those things. So even in those moments, there's always something that you can focus on that is coherent. I don't want to say good or bad. It's more like coherent and incoherent. So back to the concept of allowing. As we move towards the darkening time of life, the time just changed this past yesterday, this past weekend. Again, whenever you watch this video, the frequencies still work. And as it turns out, I'm filming on this day where the time has just changed, and we are coming into a physically darkened time of year. There is less light in the northern hemisphere in the wintertime. There is also a kind of pressure. Anything that wants to get done by the end of the day for any sort of pragmatic reasons, there's a little bit of pressure. And then there's the press of the huge swath of holidays that are celebrated at this time. So we're dark, the days are shorter, and yet for many people there is both more to do and or slightly more to fit in than, quote, the average every day. And can we allow for our experience? If we're feeling pressure, can we allow that we're feeling pressured and then caretake ourselves the best way from that thing? Not how do we drive the mule train harder so that we get more done. It's not how do you sort of beat yourself into submission and into hyper productivity. I don't mean it like that. Like, how can you allow, wow, I'm a little overwhelmed, it's feeling dark, and I do it every year. I pull it off every year some kind of way, so I'm going to do that again this year. And how can we allow for that? And if we're feeling stressed, or if we're feeling pressed, or if we're feeling confused, or if we're feeling nervous about seeing people or navigating family dynamics or work dynamics, trying to get time off, or how do I have my clients understand that I want to spend time, with my people over the holidays, all of these things, we all have whatever our version of that, or anxiety that we don't have anybody around anymore to spend our holidays with. And how am I going to navigate this in what used to be a busy time and is now truly almost a cripplingly quiet and dark time of year? Maybe your form of anxiety has that shade of lipstick on it. Know that it will change, because everything really is impermanent, and it's okay to allow what is, and just wow, I'm really feeling it. Here we go. Allow for self. Allow for self. Allow for a breath to arrive to you. And if you can, allow yourself to be in your feet. Wow, those seem really far away, don't they? Okay. Maybe let's try for knees. Allow yourself to be in your knees. Ooh, okay, no, wow, everybody's grumbly about their knees, but we could almost get there. Okay, can you be in your hips? Like if you squat down a little bit, can you just be in your hips? There you go. And just be, okay? Regardless of what you just thought about the size of your ass. To just be. Here in Georgia, we are truly having magnificently bright and sunny and really warm. We've had a couple of cool snaps, but for being that it's the 11th month of this year, it is remarkably warm here in Georgia. So just be in that. Whether you like that or whether you long for a snowy November, just allow what is and allow yourself to feel the feelings there. It's good. I had a potluck with several colleagues last night, and we were talking about we were talking about the sort of frame of reference of one being the star of your own personal movie, right? There's a Mazzy Star lyric, superstar in your own private movie. I wanted just a minor part. And we were talking about that very phenomenon, how the conversation was revolving around the 4 agreements and the one about don't take things personally, because anybody who's doing anything around you, they're the star of their own private movie. And you just have a minor part in their storyboard. Okay, same for you. So you're having your experience. Allow it to be what it is, and caretake yourself as best and as kindly and compassionately to self and others as you can. And realize that everybody that you come into contact with, your 2-year-old, your 20-year-old, your lover, your wife, your husband, your spouse, your sibling, your parent, your grandparent, whoever, they are the star of their own private movie. And in the end, you are just a minor part. You are playing just a minor part in their broader storyboard. wow, that conflict between, but I want to be so important to the people I love because I place them in such high importance in my storyboard. Yes, that is up to you. Prioritizing people who mean a lot to you in your private storyboard of your private movie is your prerogative. And nobody's going to care for you like you can care for you. So in a non-selfish, non-narcissistic, but holistically understanding way, start with self, start with self-care, and then prioritize from that. To the overgivers and the overfunctioners and the codependents, if you make more space and allow for your experience, it won't short shrift your understanding of what those who you prioritize are feeling, right? The only danger that you may bump up against is that you may start to care for yourself. And if you're not in the habit of doing that, or even knowing what that can look like, that can seem a little jarring. Yeah. And if you are a little self-involved, then if you really allow, I'm actually, if I'm really honest, I'm not excited at all about all the holidays parties. I'm a little overwhelmed, or I'm feeling a little nervous, or I'm feeling a little shy, or I don't know how to fit it all in, or whatever. Okay, like really allow for that. Yeah. Because when you allow for self, there it is, when you allow for self and truly make enough room for your experience, then it gets a lot easier to let other people have their experience, even if it's not what you would want for them, for any reason. Yeah, it's that same thing. You know, anybody who's really judgy of others, oh, well, he, oh, well, she, I can guarantee you that person is critically brutal on themselves. It's the only way. It always starts from the inside and moves out. Even if it doesn't look that way, it is a must. It is a must. If anybody is to the outside, they're that way on the inside. Full stop. Boom. Right. Okay, just got more spacious. So same with allowing. When we truly allow, oh my gosh, I'm excited. I can just be excited, and I don't know if everybody's gonna have a good time, but I'm happy to be here, and I can just show up in that vein, right, in that vibe. Then if somebody is not vibing like that, so I'm happy, Joe Schmo next to the water cooler is not so happy, I don't have to fix that. I don't have to try and turn his frown upside down. I can allow that he's having a hard time over there by the water cooler with his Joe Schmo self. And that's okay. And then if I'm really happy and say, Grandma, is really wondering why I haven't what and the other, because what she really wants from me is X, Y, and Z, and I'm doing LMNOQ, and whoo, she has some feels about that. You know what? That's okay, Grandma. Have your feels. I'm LMNOQ in it, and it's okay. And you can want X, Y, and Z truly all day long for me. And thank you for wanting what you think is awesome for me. I will take that as love, and I will allow for that love. And you can have your experience around it, and I'm going to allow for my LMNOQ. And if you, wow, God. Man, like my neck and jaw is just really releasing around all that. It makes it easier to think kinder. It makes it easier to speak kinder. When I allow for how I feel, I really understand when I see in moments like, oh, I thought my son was okay, but I see he's actually really hurting. It took me by surprise. I didn't realize that. I thought everything was groovy. And then I get some awareness, or he says something and I realize, oh, he's not groovy. He's not okay. If I can't make enough room to allow, like I don't want him to not be okay, because yuck. But if I can't allow for that, then how is there going to be enough room for that to change, right? I have to fully allow him to not be okay so that he can get into a different space. There's just no getting away from it. There's just a lot of grief, you guys. There's just like a lot of grief. There's grief because of the current wars. There's grief because of ongoing loss since the COVID pandemic. I mean, a lot of people, this is the first time that they'll be able to be with their remaining family, surviving family. And while this may not be the first Christmas or the, first Rosh Hashanah without the person who died, it might be the first one that you're able to be with the remainder of the family. And so that empty seat at the table is going to look different than it did the past couple of years. Oh my God, it's really bringing up a lot of emotion. I really kind of want to cry. Like, I literally hear it. It's like, Rebecca, I don't want to allow that grief at the table. Like, I don't want to allow for that. But it's like, it's okay. It's okay. As not okay as it is, it's okay. And to allow for that grief holds the memory, holds the resonance of the person and the love and what you're grieving. It makes it more possible for it to vibrate more strongly if you allow for the grief to be a part of all of it. Because then there is also the joy and the gratitude and the appreciation and the beautiful nostalgia, not just the painful grief nostalgia, but the commemorative and honoring nostalgia and the lightness of remembering laughs that can never go away. because they've already been laughed and been shared, and so therefore they hang forevermore in the field. So, that's my pro tip on allowing and honoring all the facets of impermanence. Okay, and I'm going to do the 528. It's funny, there's kind of a softness to the tone that the 528 is making. It feels plenty bright, like it doesn't feel like I need to keep striking it in terms of clarifying and cohering the field. But there's a real softness, and I think I will end with this concept around allowing. When we allow our experiences, it makes it easier to allow that somebody is having their own experience of whatever, whether it's very similar to ours or very different from ours. But the softness represented by the tone of this fork really calls to the fore the fact that kind of the edgy volume on feelings and reactions gets softened and tempered a little bit when we have a bigger room for allowing. Kind of the brashness and the harshness and all the clangs and stuff kind of round over a little bit, like the soft tone. So may your practice in allowing go well for you, and then by extension for those around you in the upcoming weeks and the remainder of the year. Please like and subscribe to my videos. Please visit RebeccaKarner.com if you'd like more information about what I do, or if you'd like to book a private session.